everyone. Saturday night was something special, something chaotic at least. 4 goals, something totaling like 98 minutes, and one more point on the board. I guess this is still the podcast of champions, but hey, it's my show tonight. Welcome to the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. Good evening. Welcome. We're here. It's my show again. Like I'm saying, we kicked Ray out. We beat him out a little bit earlier than April 1st this year because, things just haven't been going so well with Ray in 2025. So we thought, get a slightly more fresh face in. Youthful good looks right here. Anyway, enough about me tonight. Let's see who's here with me. First off, if it isn't my favorite member, Taylor.
We're keeping it going with the younger and better looking than Ray, so I thought I would make my appearance next.
Yes, we are still trending younger, so I do believe this is unfortunately going to end. Taylor, welcome back. It's been a while, but how is 2025 going for you, and how are you enjoying this season?
So far, so good. I can't complain. We have some points on the board out of our 2 games, and I'm happy. I'm happy to be here.
Love it. Welcome back, Taylor. Almost a year to date, it feels like, but I probably missed a show at some point. All right, joining us tonight, not as youthful, but perhaps just as good looking. Rocking a wonderful mustache. For those of you that might be listening, you should probably take a look. DK, welcome to the Orange Black Soccer Cast.
Thanks for having me back, guys. Excited to be here.
Can you just... I'm sure we'll hear about your thoughts about the season, but what's going on with this mustache? Is this until we stop getting points, or is this just 2025?
It might be. It might be. My girlfriend would definitely like it to stop now, but I am holding through at least until we start dropping points.
We'll see what Ethan Zubak has to say. You might provide some inspiration. And finally...
I'd love it.
Probably the oldest, but certainly not the least handsome.
I'm pretty sure DK is older, and I'm really surprised that you went with the Ethan Zubak route. I mean, knowing DK, that's true, but when in doubt, what would Seth Kisipley do? Seth would keep that mustache.
This is the gap between, unfortunately, Reno, Brad, or in your case, Las Vegas and Orange County. So, here we are. Brad, as the maybe resident statistician of the team, what was your favorite thing about Saturday night, and how do we look in 2025 compared to 2024? If you can answer the last one, I already know the answer.
I mean, we looked a lot better these first 2 games than any other season for the last who knows how long. Fortunately enough for our team, I feel like we are finally getting offense correct. 6 goals so far through 2 games is best in the league, I think, by a margin, except for El Paso, who also have 6 goals but have allowed 6 goals. Definitely some work to be done having 4 goals against and yet to have a clean sheet, especially against an Oakland team I think we should have had a clean sheet against. Some minor defensive mistakes. It's not a true falling apart, but we knew coming into this game, as we were saying last week, that Louisville is a lot better of a team on paper than Oakland is. And Oakland has their own injuries. Louisville is particularly healthy, and they did exactly what we thought they would do. They scored goals.
Who did we play?
Lexington. Wow.
There you go. I was going to let you hoist yourself by your own petard there.
Oh, my God.
Love that it happened twice.
The newest team in the league. Thank you, producer Andy, for hopping on. They're a better team than Oakland is. And let's be honest, a couple defensive mistakes on our end allowed for Lexington to have 2 goals. And, you're just looking at probably the best goal of the evening. Grayson Duty, formerly of Las Vegas, now of Orange County, just hitting a header across net. Truly, a goal that only Zubak would be jealous of.
More on Grayson Duty later on, I promise. Taylor, from a goalkeeper's perspective here, new back line, second game in a row, 2 goals conceded. Where do you see defensively this team, and where is the room for improvement?
I think we need to be a little bit more compact. I mean, what we're doing up to the top, on the top end, we're also to other teams we're experiencing as well. We just need to be that little bit more organized, a little bit more compact, not letting some people be floaters around with no man on them. You can see, I think it was on their second goal, on Lexington's second goal, you could see that the person that there was someone open in the box still. So even if Shuttler had made that save, like somebody likely would have still put it back in the back of the net because we're just not quite gelled yet at the back. But we're 2 games in, so I do think that they're just finding their groove. New players, new season, all of that. So they'll get there.
Do you have a preferred back four that you'd like to see? Who were you impressed by defensively this match?
I have a soft spot for Miles, and I always have had a soft spot for Miles, and I think it'll forever be him back there. Our family is one of the biggest fans. We were just talking about, I think the first time we saw him, he was 17, and I think he's now 20. So it's just great to see him grow, and I think that he'll be solid back there for us going forward.
Nice. DK, you famously signed Ethan Zubak in 2024. How impressed are you with him kind of leading the line for Orange County 2 games in? But specifically, how do you feel about his performance Saturday night?
Yeah, I've been impressed with Zubak mainly on the headers, which, obviously he got one in Oakland. This game, he had 2 headers that one of them looked, I don't remember if it came off the crossbar, if it was saved, but it looked really good. And then obviously led to the third goal. So I think he is that, poacher role as we're allowing our midfield and our wingers to, create those chances, which I think is really, really great, and utilizing Zubak to his strengths. I would have liked to see him be a little bit more involved in this last game, but I think he had a solid performance. And what is nice is, on that first goal, especially, he, came out actually to the outside and helped out get that ball to Dogman. One, I just want to point out that whole first goal and a lot of our strengths this season in these past 2 games is the fact that we're using the entire pitch. That first goal was kind of just a masterclass of team performance. You had Duty take the ball up, cut it into Haggart in the center, who then got it to Zubak, then up to Dogman at the corner, and then crossed back into Duty. And that was just so fantastic to see. So I really love what our offense is doing. I think we should have won this game. You look at the stats. Hey, that was perfect timing. I think that's actually only for the first half, but we ended up having more possession, more shots on target, kept Lexington to only 3 shots on target in general. I think we did the same for Oakland. So there's a lot to love about what this team is doing right now.
I'm trying to think of where to even begin. Big shout out to Sofin Jafal, and I think he may have not been the most popular character at Championship Stadium on Saturday night, but I feel like this team is mildly different, and I know the record is overall the same. Last year, 2 matches in, we beat Pittsburgh. We had drawn at the death against Sacramento, kind of doing it in reverse order, but the team does feel better off. Do you guys think I'm crazy in this assessment? Brad, please provide some encouragement, reassurance.
No, this team is better off. Like I said, 6 goals in a 2-game period is a lot better of an offensive output. As long as the offense is able to keep it up, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that we'll be fine. That will definitely be top half of the Western Conference for most of the year, as long as the offensive output continues. Limiting defensive mistakes and really putting ourselves in positions where we have to play from behind is kind of our Achilles heel, and it's always been. I think allowing a goal before half, like a minute before half, was the worst thing the team could do. Obviously, it doesn't take that's like a very Madden-esque, breakdown of the result of the game. However, unfortunately speaking, we really should have kept a goal out there, not leaving a man so wide open at the end of the half, and allowing ourselves to really have to fight from behind for the second half after allowing a goal early on. But we look at the positives here. The team's definitely creating a lot more chances. Um, Offensively looks a lot better. Shots are going on target. Balls are getting into the middle of the box. This team's going to do very well this season.
Yeah, I just want to shout out one of our listeners, Josh, mentioning that Cameron Dunbar, Bryce Jameson, and Kevin Partita did not play in this match. And yet, we still looked incredibly threatening. To mention our first goal, it was one of our fullbacks crossing to another one of our fullbacks. And even if he's playing in midfield, Ryan Dogman, we are getting so far up the pitch that it kind of seems inevitable. DK, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of what to ask here. I'm so sorry, but how do we improve upon this with our starters? What changes for you?
Yeah, I mean, of course, and just kind of shout out what Matt said that I was going to throw out too is like that's not even including Liam McKinnon and Tristan Traeger, who are real talents, who are also not available quite yet. So there's a lot to improve that like this team can improve on, especially as everybody becomes healthy. So that's really exciting, especially because those are all offensive players that are just going to double our power. I think as far as like improvement goes, keeping, I really liked what we did in the first game and being a little bit more patient in that buildup. So I'd like to see that a little bit more, maybe against Monterey. Maybe it wasn't possible against a more aggressive team like Lexington, but and then obviously just kind of figuring out our defense, as Taylor mentioned, tightening it up a little bit, clearing out balls, especially in the last 30 seconds of a half. You just got to clear that out and keep that lead up until the halftime. So would love to see a little bit more of that. Just IQ in the game. But of course, that's going to come as everybody gets more comfortable. Everybody gets a little bit more experience together, and the chemistry starts building. So,
yeah, Dylan, let me ask you this, because obviously I'm going to go full Ray mode here, so I do apologize to our lovely audience, but we can't talk about this game without going into the last-minute controversy of Mo War's goal. And the fact that, I think you could make an argument either way. Should that play have been called dead? Did the goalie have full possession of the ball? If not, is that a dangerous play kind of kicking at a goalie's face while the ball's literally right there? So I want to get your take on that, Dylan.
I'm obviously incredibly biased. Yeah, I should have stood. It did stand. Is it dangerous? Yes, I think being a goalkeeper is dangerous. We can certainly ask Taylor. I got kicked plenty all over my body while trying to grab onto the ball. And I think the thing that does my head in about modern goalkeeping, and I understand the balls are shot harder, but no one ever actually just like grabs the ball anymore. It's always just parrying the ball away. Well, keep full control if you want it. I think it was the right call. I'm glad it stood. I think we've talked about this prior, and I've brought it up prior, but when you're a good team, you make your own luck. And sometimes moments like that can be a bit of luck where it just falls to the right person or a ref makes a good decision that goes in your favor. Taylor, I'm actually curious, where do you stand on that one? Because I didn't mind getting kicked constantly.
I mean, I'm as an OCSC fan, of course, I'm happy that one counts for us. As a goalkeeper, it hurts a little. I think in the moment for a ref watching, it's a bit of a coin flip. But watching the slow mo, I don't know. I think it's arguable that he had it under control because part of the reason he didn't was everybody was on top of him. He was like. So for me, that's a hard one. I don't fully agree one way or the other. Like if they didn't call it, I'd be saying, well, they could have because he didn't have it fully under control. But then in this point, I'm like, well, he did. I think it's just one of those really hard ones. But it is dangerous, and that's kind of what you sign up for as a goalkeeper, and you got to expect those kind of things. But it's still never fun to be in that position.
Yeah, I mean, we're the crazy people that want to have the ball, launched at us constantly. We're like, yeah, this is normal. It's a wildly different sport. Anyone have any final thoughts on this match before we look forward?
Yeah, just speaking on that moment in general, I just kind of want to shout out, War. One, I love his story on how he came to be signed with Orange County, and then getting his first goal on his debut with the club, and coming over to one of the best celebrations with the CLC. Was just amazing. Everybody was so hyped that we got that last, second goal, and everybody just surrounded him. And it was just fantastic to see. It was fantastic to be a part of. And I'm really excited to see what War continues to do for this club, because his story and how he got here was pretty amazing.
Things are looking up, which, I think we normally don't necessarily always feel that way. We tend to start the season quite rockily, excuse me. I do truly love that everybody in the comments is saying, "Hey, goalkeeper never had possession. Watch the slow mo video that's on Instagram." We used to give Alan, who was once on the show, quite a bit of stick about being a Zapruder. Turns out we all have a little bit of that in us. But enough about Lexington, Brad. Nothing about Louisville tonight. Let's talk about our neighbors to the north. Are they neighbors if they're that far north? Probably not. Monterey Bay is coming to town Saturday night at 7. And Monterey, for anybody not paying attention, 2 matches, 3 points, just like us, but a nice even goal difference of 0. So we have more than just ourselves to thank. Oz and Dan, welcome back.
What's up? Hi, guys. How are you?
We are having a good time, enjoying a last-minute draw over the weekend. For those who aren't familiar with Monterey's, thank you. How did your match go over this past weekend?
It was a comeback win against Oakland. We ended up beating them 3-2. They started the game with the first goal, and then the boys put in 3 goals, and yeah, all of a sudden we can score. that was something that plagued us last year. As we created chances, we just couldn't put them in the net, and this time we put away 3 solid goals. So sadly, went a man down, with about 10 minutes to go, and then and then gave up a goal. So squeaked out a 3-2 victory, but we'll take 3 points at home.
Yeah, for anybody who forgot, last time these two sides played, it was 0-0, and Monterey certainly had the lion's share of the chances, but could not put them away. So really, just at an overall level, how did Monterey change from 2024 to 2025?
I mean, they got rid of everybody. we signed 14 new players. We only have 10 guys that returned. Both of our starting keepers have gone to other clubs. So we've got 3 brand new keepers. We signed 14 players, none of whom have USL Championship experience. Well, no, I take that back. Miles Lyons had played some with El Paso, but everybody else, foreign or from MLS Next Pro. So, but the big change I think for us is last year we had 4 forwards. This year we've doubled that. Yeah. We have 8 forwards. So, that's the hope, is that we'll overcome all of our opposition by putting more forwards on the field.
That sounds exactly like how Orange County approached 2025. So we might be.
Yeah, but you took one of ours.
Well, and whose fault is that?
He went home. That's correct. Yeah. Yep. He's closer to home. He got married over the off season to his longtime girlfriend Shannon. So well done to the Traeger family. So there you go.
We're gonna just make you do all of our work now, Dan. I think. Taylor, I think you had a question.
I do. So if we're going into this weekend, if you're going to give us a top secret tip on how to beat you guys, what would it be?
Score first. I know we scored 3. Whatever. I'll be honest. I think that it was just 2 of not the better teams in the Western Conference playing more so than, wow, this is a new Monterey Bay FC. So I think if Orange County, if you guys can score early and just kind of dictate the terms, I think
our guys will struggle to find that same energy because they won't have the crowd behind them that they did on Saturday.
Right. The home crowd won't be behind them. I think the big thing for us is we don't know what our best starting 11 is yet.
Yeah.
We played an 11 in San Antonio that lost, and then made 7 changes to the starting 11 in our home opener. So and then lost the starting right back for the home opener to a straight red card. So he's Joel Garcia Jr. He's definitely out for the Orange County match. So I think the biggest concern that we have is you you don't know what you're going to face, Taylor. We don't even know what you're going to face because we're just going to have to see who shows up on Saturday. Um, it we and like we said, wholesale changes. The starting 11 that we started this last Saturday, only 2 of the 11 were returning players. The other 9 are all brand new guys. So it's you know it's going to be a work in progress, and you played Oakland in your first game, then we played Oakland this last weekend. Now Oakland has to go and open at home on an 0-2 record, and we get to come see you. So it's going to be an interesting first 3 games for Monterey Bay this season.
Excellent.
Yeah, well,
Learning. It's going to be great.
Well, we're excited to face you guys. Hopefully we'll see some of your guys' fans coming out to the Champ this weekend. Don't know if that's going to be a thing or not.
I'll be there.
Oz is
All
definitely
right.
coming down. We know of at least a solid 10 that are coming.
Oh, perfect. Well, hit up our Instagram and we'll tell you guys where we're tailgating and everything.
Yep.
And,
Not the
we
big
can hang out
tree.
before. It's not the big tree this time. We got
moderately
kicked out of there
sized
last
tree.
time. So yeah, moderately sized tree. But we're in the parking lot and we can send you guys the info for sure. So
Yeah. Okay.
What are you guys looking forward to facing us? I mean, do you know what your best starting 11 is? Like we said, Mr. Traeger wasn't even in the 18 this last weekend.
yeah, I mean, we think Traeger's coming off of kind of like a little knock.
Okay.
So, we're hoping to see him back. He did really well in the game against Oakland for like the 10 minutes that he was on, ended up contributing to a goal. I think we have a good idea of what our starting 11 is. We definitely didn't face as many departures as you guys did. But, like you said, our offense is definitely our key.
Yeah.
So that's really where we're going to be coming to try and attack as much as possible. And we have a lot of offensive players who are still injured that we're hoping to get returned, and then our starting 11 can completely change. But
we could possibly see Grant Robinson at left back. He's who started this last Saturday. The other 3 in the back 4 were all new signings. Our captain is new, Nico Gordon, formerly of North Texas SC, but from Birmingham, England.
Yeah.
So 22, young captain, but obviously has commanded the locker room. And new keepers. We have Nick Campazano and Sam Gomez and Dallas Odell. So as you know, the first season we had Dallas J. So we're filling our Dallas quota of keepers right now. We have, like I said, a third keeper named Dallas. So we're excited to see what we field. I mean, it's going to be. Moby Fair just returned to market, so there's another solid year 4 guy. Adrian Rebelliard just celebrated his 100th appearance for Monterey Bay. He's also a year 4 guy. So yeah, we're just excited to come down and play you early in the season, and then and try and get 3 points and get out of town.
Awesome. Really looking forward to it. You just threw out a lot of names out there, and I'll ask a little bit of a 2-part question because one, a lot of those names, we talk a lot about how there are a bunch of players that kind of bounce from team to team, and what you'll expect. But Monterey seems to have gone the path of, other than maybe an Ethan Bryant, and then obviously you mentioned Alex Dixon and Rebbe Yar, who returned. there's a lot of, I don't want to say nobodies because nobody's a nobody, but a lot of people that are very unfamiliar to the league. So
They're all the vast majority of them are from overseas. Adam Larson came from Finland. Swedish
playing in the Faroe Islands.
Playing in the Faroe Islands Premier League. Jacob Muir from Australia. Malongo, Mael Malongo played for Chattanooga Timberwolves last year. Red Wolves. Sorry. Yep. Sorry. Red Wolves.
Well, Chattanooga people are like,
no, all new to USL Championship. Elijah Paul, 2023 first round draft pick for Real Salt Lake. He scored the penalty this last weekend. So he's got some MLS experience, but he was spending some time with MLS Next Pro with Real Salt Lake 2, I guess is what they call them, or the Monarchs, I think is
the
what they
Princes.
call them. But yeah, so like you said, not nobodies, but new to USL Championship simply because no one's heard of them before, which is unique, I think, for us. I mean, we doubled down and cleared out the locker room and got a whole bunch of guys that if I could make an analogy to a different movie, different sport, it's kind of like Major League. We got a bunch of guys that nobody's heard of, but that gives us an advantage because nobody's heard of them.
awesome. I don't want to take up too much more time of your guys this evening, but one of the things that we like to do, obviously, as you guys know, we like to do predictions for games. And, normally I would have the team start off, but I'm going to throw it to you guys first so that we can properly embarrass you guys and take clips and after the game and post it online. So, what do you guys think is going to be the
predicted our
score?
score last week perfectly fine, so I'm like, I feel I'm on a roll right now.
Then I'll give you the honor, sir.
All right, cool. And I'm gonna get the easiest one to not get made fun of if anything happens. I'm going with 1-1, a 1-1 draw. That a point in Orange County would be amazing. That's my the drop-in one. If you want my real one, we got to go across the street and have a couple more Guinnesses. But
I
gotta be a homer.
Last year I predicted a 2-0 win for Monterey Bay. Unfortunately, it was completely the opposite. We gave up 2 goals down there. I'm going to be a little bit more pragmatic. Again, just with the knowledge that we signed double the amount of forwards that we had last season, I'm going to better Oz just once, try not to embarrass myself. I'm going to go 2-1 for Monterey Bay simply because I think we're just going to throw more at the net than we did last year. So I'm going to go 2-1 victory for Monterey Bay, grab 3 points, get out of town fast.
Awesome. Dylan, I want to hear your extra analysis here.
I love that both of these teams just went, hey, last year we probably didn't score enough goals, so if we just sign every available forward that we can, something really cool might happen. I'm going to say I don't see Orange County scoring less than 2 in this one. I'm going to go 2-0 Orange County on this. DK?
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier today. I really wanted to go with 2-0 as well, but I just don't trust our defense quite yet to not make those silly mistakes. So I'm going to go 2-1, opposite of Dan there.
Got it.
We've got a prediction already from the chat, 4-2 Orange County. I personally would love to see us not 5-2. I would love to see us not concede 2 goals. I have a feeling Taylor would also agree. And where do you see this game going?
I'm going to go 3-1 win for us. I think that we're just kind of on fire right now, and I do think our defense needs to, shuffle back in, and Shetler needs to get on it. But I think that Monterey has the potential to score more than that. I think it just depends on how good we are defensively.
Fair enough.
Josh, right? Yeah, thank you for the 3-0 reassurance that we can, in fact, get a clean sheet. Brad, what's going on here?
Yeah, well,
Who's
first
winning?
I'm gonna shout out this weird Ray Samora character. What I don't know what 9C stands for, but he says 3-1 Orange County. Me personally, after being very reassured these first couple of weeks of Orange County's performance offensively, I think Ethan Zubak's kind of found the springs in his shoes and have gotten in the air for some of these insane headers. So I'm gonna say Ethan Zubak one header, our guest one header, and someone else getting a cheeky goal against 2 goals for Monterey. So 3-2 Orange County.
Fair enough.
Big shout out to everybody that's tossing in predictions. Again, not sure what 9C means. 2-0 OC from Michael and producer Andy's.
1
Perhaps.
million.
Yes. Rooting for that one. I'm sure we'll see a handful of goals. Oz, Dan, thank you. Any final messages for anybody this weekend?
Well, I did see someone did actually comment of saying if we're going to bring our drums down, and I don't think that our drumming group I don't think they've
I don't
mentioned
think
that
they're
they're
traveling, right? Yep.
Would they even allow us? I was thinking they didn't let my flag in last year.
And I wasn't allowed to bring a drum last year.
Yeah,
So
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I was
don't think
allowed to
so.
change.
Lame about the flag, though. You
Yep.
guys should be able to bring in a flag.
Well,
but
that was
drum, I don't
that
think
was
so.
We
that,
could sneak
but,
it in, but we're not.
but I think that was
I
I
like
think
it.
that was USL. I think that was USL wide. We had the same problem in
Mhm.
Sacramento. We had the same problem. We were allowed to
There's a
bring
weapon in
we
Sacramento.
were allowed to bring a flag into Oakland, but we weren't allowed to bring a pole. So we were allowed to hang them, hold them up in our hands, but we weren't allowed to sway them. So there you go. But yeah, final thought for me, just safe travels to our traveling contingent. Um, uh, you guys have always been fun to hang out with, both down there and up here. So we're looking forward to seeing you, or the folks that are traveling. Looking forward to seeing you, and again, return the same hospitality when you come up and visit us later in the season. So just we're friends until the whistle blows, right?
Always.
So
Oz and Dan, thank you so much. And hopefully not too good of a result for you on Saturday night. Thanks.
always a pleasure to be on with you guys. Good to see you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. I personally am really hoping for a 1,000,000-0 result. And hey, if that's happening, I think we're going to see a lot of our next guest probably on the score sheet again. So, Grace and Duty, welcome to the Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
Thanks for having me. How you guys doing?
I think we're doing great. We're riding a high after you scored on Saturday night. Does that count as an early birthday present for yourself, or are you going to bag another one come Saturday night?
Oh, I would take another one, but you know what? That is definitely a good birthday present to start off the week for sure.
I do like that you gave it to yourself, or maybe Ryan Dogman gave it to you. However, that exactly works. To keep talking about this goal for a minute, run us through that celebration. What's running through your mind? You look maybe more happy than anybody else I've ever seen.
It's not every time as a right back or full back you get to score. So when the moment comes, it was definitely pure excitement, a little bit of shock too, because I was like, usually I'm not in the 18-yard box. Usually I'm doing the assisting. But yeah, to see the ball at the back of the net was insane. And then I realized I had to celebrate. And I told myself for a while I was going to do this celebration. And it was like duty number 2, it stinks. So I was going to do something with that. And I kind of went with it. But you can kind of see in the video where I kind of hesitate because I kind of blank. And I'm like, oh, it actually is here. Like, I actually scored. Like, I actually need to celebrate for a second. So that one's been resting for a little while, and I've been wanting to do it for a while. So I'm glad that I actually got to bring it out.
Well, we hope you get a few more options this year. Last year, you spent a handful of months with Las Vegas, 16 matches, 1 goal, 4 assists. So you've already managed in an eighth of the time to get there. How has your role changed with Orange County this year? Obviously, you were, kind of posting up at the back post Saturday night. What are you being asked to do?
Yeah, coming into a new team every time, you're trying to figure out the style and the role. Coming into Las Vegas when it was nearing the end of the season was just to be solid role. And now coming into Orange County, I've actually gotten a whole preseason and time to grow with learning a lot of the players around me. And I think my role can be, we have a lot of attacking talent. We have a lot of dynamic wingers, and a lot of times it's trying to get them to the best of their ability where they're in good positions and they're in a good spot. So Danny has been doing a great job of just kind of what he wants out of us. And sometimes, the opponents look different on film, and at times that opens up different spaces. So it's just kind of being flexible and understanding kind of the personnel and the teammates around me to, provide that attacking threat, but also like defensive structure. Um, so it changes, but I think the system that the role that has been presented to me is one that I'm actually somewhat familiar with. I feel like it takes me back a little bit to college days where I feel comfortable in the position that I am in as a fullback, and the responsibilities that have come with it, and just kind of learning it. Obviously, it's early in the season, so just kind of learning more and more as we go.
Awesome. Fans, viewers, if you have any questions for Mr. Duty himself, please ask. But first, Taylor.
Yeah. Awesome to have you here. Thank you. I just wanted to see if you think if there's a strength that we might not have quite yet seen because it's only been 2 games. If there's something that is going to be the powerhouse for OCSC this season, if we keep on at it and it gets to really shine, do you have anything like that you're thinking is going to come out?
I think we're a team that I think we'll provide a lot of different options going forward. I think we've shown creative ways of getting to goal. But I also feel like in training and just kind of in preseason, like we've seen a lot of different ways of getting to goal, and sometimes that is also defensively and pressure and getting out of the back. And I think that's something that I'm looking forward to a little bit. Is we've built down teams a lot, but I also think we have this defensive structure and pressure and hunger almost that can kind of make teams uncomfortable, that I'm excited to kind of, as the season goes on, to see how we utilize that and just put teams under pressure. Because I think, I've seen from the top, starting with our forwards, if we press right, we put ourselves in really good positions and start putting teams in really dangerous positions. And I think that will come out more as the season kind of continues.
Duty, great having you on here. Really just kind of want to know what drew you to, Orange County as like the next step in your professional career. What was something that stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, what doesn't drive you to Orange County? It's incredible. I mean, I grew up in Hermosa Beach, so I've always been familiar with the place, and I grew up playing outside Irvine Great Park and on those fields, and being in Montreal a bit last year, and then Las Vegas for the end of it. I think it was huge, one, to just be around my family and having them come to my games because it's been a while since they could. Um, and I mean, I love the area. I've always been a West Coast kid. I've always wanted to just be a part of this program and this organization from just seeing it from the outside. Um, I've seen a lot of UCLA players come here and do good things, and grow their career. And so I always felt like Orange County is a place where they really do grow players and they play the right way. And it's been in my backyard ever since I've been growing up. And so it's always been a destination that I've always wanted to play in front of. And even 2 games ago, I had 30 people, close friends and family, come out, which was awesome. Like I don't think I've ever had that experience, because it's just nice to have, family and friends seeing what you love to do. And it was just the perfect, once they were kind of approaching me in the off season, it was tough to say no to.
No, that's so awesome. And I know like tons of us fans are really, really excited to have you here. I know the CLC is currently working on a chant for you. We just want to make sure that we get it absolutely perfect. So be patient with us and you'll hear it soon, I am sure. One of the things that you've already kind of touched up on is not only the team, but yourself and, the kind of duality role of, offense and defense, especially since you are that wing back. So how do you, as your, play style, balance that kind of responsibility of both, being important on the back line, but also moving up to the other end of the pitch and scoring when you need to, assisting when you need to.
Yeah, yeah. I think one thing I've learned just overall is like I grew up starting as a winger. Like that's why I got committed to college as a winger. And so making that transition to a fullback has always been trying to balance when to go forward and when to hold. And I found that I kind of do have more defensive tendencies first before I like to attack. So I think it's making sure that you feel secure that the center backs are, they're telling you that like we're good back here and we can move up going forward. So it's all about making sure that first off the defense is stable and connected. And obviously, if I see some space in front of me and I see some open grass, I always like to run, and I always like to run to get into those spaces. So you start to feel out those moments more and more as you kind of grow accustomed to the game and the game starts to open up. But I feel like it's a balance. You prioritize defending because at the end, the last thing that you want is a ball in the back of the net. But you also want to attack, be dangerous. And so I think as a fullback, your responsibility first is to defend always and make sure the back line is secure. And then obviously, if you can provide that attacking threat, which is always a nice bonus and something that I enjoy too.
Awesome. No, yeah, that's really great. I do just have one more question, actually going to take over from our fans in the audience. It looks like you do have a big fan, Caden Duty, who asked, do you have any any goal, like any plans for celebrations for the next big goal? And did you hear me cheering for you?
So that's my sister, and I hear her at every game. And funny story, at every time for UCLA, she'd come to every game, and she would be the loudest one in the stands. And we'd be watching film 4 days a week, and the only person that you would hear while they're doing film is my sister screaming my name the whole time. So I always hear her. She is always the loudest. And I think if I score another goal and she's in the stands, I think I'll just have to like run to her, hit her with like a "Hey girl," something.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. But yeah, gotta run to her, gotta celebrate with her somehow.
Love that. All right, I think Brad has a couple questions for you.
Yeah, awesome. Well, first of all, Grayson, I first got to see you play against Detroit City last year when you were with Vegas, since I am a local here out in Vegas. And as soon as I saw your assist on the goal from Corey Bennett, where you just kind of lobbed the ball up from 30 yards outside, the goal, and he just kind of takes it and you perfectly set it up. I'm like, that's the kind of player that we need on our team, defensively, because those are the kind of balls that we really have been missing as a team over the last couple of years. And then you come here, and all of a sudden, there's a bunch of balls going into the box, not just from yourself, but from others. And I do think as a player, you definitely do complement Ryan Dogman. So just super excited to have you here on the team. And one of the questions I ask all players that come on the show is, kind of where do you get your inspiration from as a player to develop, your own skills, and who, if anybody, do you model your game off of?
That's a great question. Man, I mean, growing up, I would say two players were always my favorite. I always loved Eden Hazard was my all-time favorite, and then Danny Alves was my other favorite. So those two, I guess combined, I would say I tried to model my game after. But I think you also growing up, like after the youth system and through the youth system, you start to just kind of invest in your own skills and be more aware of what you can offer, because sometimes you can't dribble like Eden Hazard, or you can't cross like Danny Alves all the time, so you kind of have to figure out your strengths a little bit. And I think over time, focusing on the weaknesses and trying to improve what you have has been a fun project for me, and I'm sure every one of my teammates likes to invest in themselves and trying to improve every possible skill that they have. And so, yeah, over time, it's evolved. Like I would say in college, I wasn't a great crosser, and so I wanted to work on that. And coming into Vegas, I knew I wanted to get assists, and crossing was something that was one of my strengths. And just as a strength happens, another thing maybe lost some attention. So it's just kind of constantly trying to invest in each skill and trying to make sure that they're all at the best possible potential that you can work to. And I think that's something that we're all working to right now too, is just trying to improve each skill and get to that level where we look like Eden Hazard or Danny Alves, or get to that point.
Yeah, awesome. Um, you know, we talked a lot about your celebration already. However, one person on the team whose celebration seems to rival yours so far this season is one Mr. Danny Stone. Obviously, he's come in and has been a leader for the team as manager, and I just wanted to get your thoughts. Is what does Danny Stone do that seems to be kind of bringing this team together and offensively succeeding here?
Yeah. No, I think it starts with it's a big project. It's always, he came in at an interesting point in the season where they needed to win, and they got exactly that. And I was in Vegas and I was seeing it firsthand. And so coming here, I've realized, when you have someone at the top that is invested and believes as much as anyone, that this team can be successful, that Orange County can be successful and do great things. And it starts there. And then when he has that passion day in, day out, and I think as a coach, you have to have a big attention to detail and focus on every little thing, as a team that needs to be better. And I felt like every day he's prepared with what he wants to do, and what he wants to get out of the team, and just kind of focusing on themes throughout each game day and each practice, and just focusing on the overall trajectory of the team. He tends to focus on really well, and I think he highlights really well for everyone to see in a clear manner. And going over film and having side conversations in practice, like there's all these little things that come together come game day that eventually you see like the bigger picture that he's been preaching. And yeah, like he's passionate, and he wants the best out of everyone and the team, and he wants to see everyone and the fans happy. So when you have that guy at the top that's really pushing for all that, it gets everything going, and it's a spark, and it's pretty easy to catch on. I feel like everyone kind of gets onto it and has been riding with it. And obviously, it's early, but it's nice to have that base throughout the season.
Awesome. Stepping a little bit away from soccer, one of the questions we typically will ask has to do with hopefully you not throwing other players under the bus, but music taste. Typically, we know a couple players like to take control of the aux in the locker room. So, who has the best taste in music, and who has the worst taste so far this season?
Let's see. Let's see. I would say Tom's usually on Ox in the morning, and he has a wide variety of some country music, but also some good house music. Chris Heggart was on Ox this morning, and we went through a wave of emotions. I think at one point, I think everyone thought they were maybe going through a breakup, and then they were like having a house party, and it was like fun. But it was a wide range. But I liked it that there was some rap, so it was quite the experience. I can't lie, for a Tuesday morning, walking in. But yeah, I would say Tom usually is good on the aux. I think he does it well. He does a good job, and Chris did a decent job today. It was just a very interesting experience.
Grayson, to keep asking questions less about Grayson Duty, right back for Orange County, and more about Grayson Duty, the man. We've got some crowd questions as well. So first, Carlos would like to know, perhaps other than your sister, what would you like to see more from the CLC or the supporters in general?
Oh man, I mean the past two home games have been electric. I like we feel the fans, we feel the support. Um, I can't ask for too much more. I mean, I just hope personally you guys keep coming out, and really feel that we feel that, and like we appreciate that, because going out after the halftime, we're a bit tired, or walking out of the tunnel to start the game when the adrenaline's going. Like we hear every part of it, and you know, even if maybe we're not looking like we feel it, and we're trying to get locked in because we feel the energy that you guys, show to us and show up. And I mean, you could see after the second goal, after we scored, like everyone's running to the same corner. Everyone knows exactly where we're going. Like, it was such a special moment. Everyone knows where the fans were. We're all in it together. So I can't ask for much more besides just please keep coming. It's a season for all of us. It's a season where we all want to do well, and we all want everyone to experience it. And the more people that are bought in, the better. So it's like, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Please keep coming out. We feel the love.
Saturday night at 7, we might see some more Grayson Duty birthday fireworks, if I had to guess. Grayson, who are you most excited to play against this year?
It's got to be Las Vegas. It's got to be the reunion. I mean, I know a lot of those guys, so yeah, I can't wait to one, play at Cashman back at Las Vegas, old stomping grounds, and then yeah, I think it'd be nice to bring them home and show them the new home. So yeah, I'm excited for those guys.
Love it. And I got some rapid fire questions for you, and then I promise we'll get you on out of here. So first off, what's your favorite spot in Orange County? Be that a restaurant or just a place you've been?
Laguna Beach, gotta be.
You have teed me up so well for this next one, which is Hermosa or Laguna Beach?
Hermosa. That's home. Can't beat it.
They feel like the same place to me, but it's fine. It's fine. Moving past it. It's fine.
Yeah,
Moving past it. Chicas or Takarioe?
Chicas or what?
Takarioe.
Top three away. I'm gonna go Chicas.
Ooh. All right. So I can already see the difference between your captain and you, and he was buttering us up left and right. I've always wanted to be here. Gnarly's the best. This is great, and you're just like, nah, LA is better. It's fine. Brentwood or Irvine, Grayson?
Oh, I've recently been exploring Irvine, so I'm gonna go Irvine. I like Irvine a lot right now.
Okay. We're warming up. And what's your favorite vegetable?
Oof. I love broccolini right now. Broccolini is making a run with it.
I love that everything is right here in the moment. You're having a great week, so why not? I'm here for it. Grayson, any final messages for the Orange County fans?
Man, like I was saying, you guys have been great. I feel so comforted just being around here, and it's an honor to play in front of you guys. And hopefully, I can keep hitting more of these sellies in front of you guys. And please keep bringing the energy. It's been fantastic so far, and it's just the beginning. So it's going to be a fun season, and I can't wait for what's to come. So thank you guys, and let's keep going.
Thank you, Grayson. Birthday boy in 2 days, everybody. So make sure you shout him out when you see him on Saturday night. Grayson, thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
I am. I do love that he didn't butter us up the same way that Tom Brewitt did last week. He's wrong. Chicos is fine, but it's not a big deal. I'm moving past it. Brad, any thoughts on, you've seen him more than anybody else?
Yeah,
what are we going to get out of Grayson Duty for the rest of the year?
I really do believe when I've introduced him, or when I talked about my experience with him, Grayson Duty is an absolute awesome player. I see nothing but good things coming for him in the future. And to be fair, he's number 2 on the field, number 1 in our hearts.
I truly love it. Okay, what did we learn this week? I think Ray would want me to run this one, but I'm going to keep it a tight ship in under an hour. So Taylor, what did you learn this week?
I learned that we are in a great position and we have things to learn, but we've learned a lot, so we're going in the right trajectory.
DK?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit off topic to the actual show tonight, but to shout out one of our other hosts, Larry. He wanted to make sure that we did mention today, and it was something that I learned, that this last Sunday we actually had some old OCSC players who flew in to do the LA Marathon. And that would be including Darwin Jones, Sean Ugo Okoli, and Kevin Alston, who all ran the LA Marathon and finished it, which is just really cool to see some of our old players all getting together to do something like that.
It wasn't all that long ago that Larry was not just a man with a beard on a podcast, but a fat guy running. So I can see why he was
Still got his
interested.
chant.
I really wish I knew which one of those three finished first. Do we want to place a bet really quick?
Oof.
Brad, you as the resident bookie.
Well, what's the bet over? Like, what line do you need developed for yourself?
And this has already gone too far. So this gambling thing is beyond my ability to comprehend. DK, I personally learned just how bad I can be at hosting. So maybe I should give Ray a little less stick. Taylor.
No. We did good here. Like it was the Dylan and Taylor show, like normal, but a little bit more Dylan, a little less Taylor. But I think it went well.
I think maybe the key for success is just more Taylor.
More Taylor.
More
And
Taylor.
less
Always
Dylan.
more
We can try
Taylor.
that.
Alphabetically, I'll just change my name so we go the other way around and call it good. Does anybody have any final things that they'd like to talk about this week? I'm going to take that wonderful radio silence as a resounding no. For everybody who has contributed tonight and listened, watched along, thanks for being here. To Taylor, DK, Brad, producer Andy, thank you. For all of us here at the Orange Black Soccer Cast.
Now go
We are
listen.
out.
Go
What
listen.
was that?